Howdy, and welcome to today's serving of Daily Bread. Remember, on Fridays is when we will continue with the narrative about the 50 days leading up to the day of Pentecost. This week we are talking about how Christians are not only called but equipped to intervene and intercede for those ensnared by Satan. Our scripture reading is in Genesis 14:10 through 16. Now the valley of Siddim was full of tar pits, and when the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some of the men fell into them, and the rest fled to the hills. The four kings seized all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their food. Then they went away. They also carried off Abram's nephew Lot and his possessions, since he was living in Sodom. One who had escaped came and reported this to Abram the Hebrew. Now Abram was living near the great trees of Mamre the Amorite, a brother of Eshcol and Aner, all of whom were allied with Abram. When Abram heard that his relative had been taken captive, he called out the 318 trained men born in his household and went in pursuit as far as Dan. During the night, Abram divided his men to attack them, and he routed them, pursuing them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. He recovered all the goods and brought back his relative Lot and his possessions, together with the women and other people. Now, yesterday we talked about the fierce battle Satan is warring against the family, and how the family is the basic unit of society. We discussed Satan's plan to destroy society by destroying the family. We must be aware of the enemy and always be prepared for battle. Lot made some bad choices. The scriptures teach us that Lot set his heart towards Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot's short-sightedness nearly cost him everything. We need to realize that the choices we make today will affect us in the future. Now, the other side of this story, though, is Abram. We learn a great deal about how Christians should act when someone's bad choices get them in trouble. A lot of Christians would have said, Lot made his bed, let him lay in it. But Abram went to war with the enemy on Lot's behalf. Now, I'm not saying we need to rush in every time something little happens. If that was the case, Abram would have gotten Lot out of Sodom before this, or even perhaps forbade Lot to even go to Sodom. Abram allowed Lot to make his own decisions, but was there when Lot needed him the most. Please don't be one of those Christians that rejoices when something tragic happens to someone, even if they brought it upon themselves. Be the Christian that reaches out and tries to point them in the right direction. Thank you, and I pray that you've enjoyed today's portion of Fresh Daily Bread, and may God richly bless you today.